Today on Van Helsing, we talk about everybody almost joining a cult. Almost. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There we go.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV. We are here doing the Van Helsing after show. Episode Stay Away. Yes, people reunite in this episode. People kind of break up in this episode. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SeraphiniTV. Joining me, I have...
Hey guys, what's up? It's Andrew Mena coming at you live here on AFTERBUZZ TV, and I can be found on Twitter at Andrew Mena. So tweet at me if you want to talk about all of these wonderful happenings in Van Helsing and other things.
Nice. And my name is Kari Lane, and you can find me online at Kari D Lane. And we do have the chat going, so if you're watching live, feel free to chat with us. And if you're watching it later, feel free to leave comments down below.
Yes, this music is giving me life. R&B is my stuff.
Can you imagine if the whole show was set to this song? Just slicing
How
vampires
amazing
in
would that
half.
be?
I bet
Just
somebody's made a
Oh.
fan montage of something, you know.
All right.
And if they haven't, please do.
Come on, guys.
And send
tweet,
it to
tweet
us.
that at us.
Yes.
Yes.
Tweet the link to us and we will definitely watch it. Maybe even show it on our show. All right, episode Stay Away. I mean, very questionable. What were your thoughts? Carrie, let's start with you.
Knew it was creepy cult.
Yeah,
Never
totally.
trust it. If it's always too perfect, I'm like, I wish it was better. But do we know the bell towers are the vampires are coming signal? Or we not know what the bell
No.
towers
We
are exactly?
don't.
I don't think we
We
actually...
never heard the bells
And-
tolling in this town.
No,
so-
it did. At the
It did hear
beginning,
bells
Oh.
toll.
and then Magdalene and her peeps walked up, and but I didn't know if that was a direct correlation or it just was a coincidence.
Oh, it might...
point.
because, you know, sometimes, like, there are towns where they will toll the bells just saying what time of day it is.
It's true.
So it could
Even
be
after
like,
the vampire
hey,
apocalypse.
if it's 12 o'clock and they strike the bell 12 times, that might be the time when the vampires come for their
I didn't
meeting.
think the bell tower was on a automated anything though. I felt it was still a person.
It's not like quasi-
So I wonder if that's just some random unanswered question. But
a good
yeah,
point, though.
cult people.
The cult folks. The
yeah.
peeps in
What are your
Eden.
thoughts, Andrew?
It was
What
called
were your
Eden, so that was super creepy. Like right
Yes.
off the bat.
Yeah.
Anytime you
We'll
have
get into
in a video game or a movie or a something where the place is called Eden, you're like, they're not a real like
Nope.
utopia. They're a false utopia. So I was ready for the
Always.
downfall. I can't look at the actor who played Micah's face without thinking of the brother from Scrubs, and so I just see him like sitting in a bathtub with what's his name, JD, and he's just drinking beers. So I was just like, oh man, and his accent was super goofy. I was just like, where are you supposed to be from?
Yeah, no, I questioned that as well.
Nondescript.
Nondescript.
That's what it is.
Right, exactly. He's from somewhere else.
No, you know, I really like this episode too. Especially, I found there was a lot of religious undertones in this episode.
Yes.
Very much so.
Which I think probably threw us off a bit. I mean,
It was a different tone.
It was
episode.
a little bit, but it kind of did foreshadow things. If you
Yeah.
do know,
I think it worked really well
religion
for
and
certain
faith.
characters. I think, like, for example, Flesh, who I'm sure we'll talk about more, but, like, Flesh, I thought that all of the religious overtones really worked well for him because he's so,
Yes.
you know, reflective, and he's all about, like, figuring out whether or not his life still has worth and purpose and stuff, so...
Absolutely. But, like, even with the name Eden, I mean, you have the whole garden, even that seems perfect on the outside, but it's still corrupted by evil.
Exactly.
So, you were saying?
Comment on the chat room, and I totally 100% agree with you a little bit on this one. Is Renji says, I didn't think I could hate Doc even more, and I'm like, I know. I'm just like, I'm like, I don't know if now it's to the point where I'm just like, I hate how she does everything. Like at the end when she's like, "Nah!" I'm
Okay,
like, no,
Yep.
no.
I was
Yep.
gonna save Doc for last. Because,
we need-
like,
I
since
think
you
we
brought
need to
her
talk
up,
about her.
let's just talk about her
Yes.
because we're all
Get it out
pretty
of our
much
system.
boiling. Yes, we are
Doc.
boiling.
Yes.
Doc. I literally have in the notes on our whiteboard. Ugh. Because
Yes.
Yes.
like she just
Yes.
pissed me
I wrote
off
that
so
down,
much
too.
more in this episode.
Yes.
I was like, oh.
Yep.
Honestly, okay, so I'm kind of glad at the fact that she did confess to Vanessa what she did to Axel. It's like,
Yes.
at
Yes.
least she...
Well, sort of.
But at least
Enough.
it came out.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on Vanessa's reaction? Was that warranted?
I mean, she reacted...
Had Vanessa reacted?
she
Oh, to be
reacted
like, we're done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you
Dude.
just left Axel there to die?
She reacted like a leader, and not
Yes.
she was very like it was very diplomatic. She's like, all right, that's fine. You made that decision, and that was your call.
Yes.
But here's how it affects the way that our relationship is now. You
Yeah.
are not allowed. You're not on my team. It's not happening anymore.
And it's not even just her personal opinions towards Axel. It's just that you left someone in our group
Right.
behind.
So-
I can't
someone
have
that-
you around if you're
yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
And like by all right, and she even tried to logically reason it out with Doc. She was like, that guy took care of you for years, like
Yes.
fed you on his own blood,
Yes.
and you still couldn't like find it in your heart to like help him out. And she's like, I did what I had to do. All right, great. Well, I can't have someone like that on my team, so
So I'm
sorry.
doing what I
Yep.
have to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought she handled it like a real leader. Like it reminded me of like good Teen Titans when you're like, oh, Robin, you're making the real hard choices, which is a weird place to go with this, but that's where I went. So I felt really, I was really excited about it because I feel like that's what we want. We want Vanessa making these hard choices. But this is also the same episode where she starts just making out with that guy. Just, all right, he's dreaming, I get it, but like, nah, man, like I wish they would.
Woman has needs, you know.
I totally agree, but I wish they would have acknowledged that this is the version of like he's just a sexy guy. Like that's the whole point of him. Great. I just wish there were some more like one-liners for her where she's like, like they had the first flirty like couldn't find a hotel, and like
Yeah.
never
Okay.
again. Everything after that was just like I like you, let's touch.
Yeah, no. Well, yes. We'll get to him.
Yeah.
But let's stay on Doc. What were
Cool.
your thoughts of how she reacted?
Yeah, no, I was totally good with how Vanessa reacted to her. I 100% agree. Good leader, and it's just very practical of like, I wouldn't want you on my team kind of a situation of like, if you're gonna leave someone behind, like you could leave me behind.
Exactly.
You know, and be like, no. And it wasn't like I hate you and like all overly emotional or
Not
anything. It was like, you can stay here. You're in a safe space. It's not like, because it's not like it's not like Vanessa abandoned Doc in the middle of the woods. Like you're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we've seen that before in other stuff. But like this is like you're in a safe. Well, actually, technically,
This is where we say goodbye.
Adult
Right.
humans are safe.
Right.
Ish.
If you're not a baby.
Yeah, if you're not a pregnant lady and if you're not a baby.
Yeah, I was just wondering how long this was going to go before the rest of the team finds out what Doc did.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Like, is Vanessa gonna
I was
tell
like,
them later?
how can Doc keep living with herself and keep working with this team knowing what she did? And I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad they kind of figured that out within one episode.
And another question is,
Yeah.
will Vanessa do anything with that information of Axel? He was in the fight.
Like, is she gonna go back and look for him?
Right,
I thought
yeah.
that. I thought she was gonna be like, all right, I'm going back to go look.
Yeah, because
to
basically,
verify.
Same here.
Absolutely, because when Doc was like, "Oh no, he's gone," well, that is basically like, "Oh, okay, well, I shouldn't go down there." So now she was told that's not true. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still
Yeah.
don't know if Axel's actually dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. No body,
He's
no
a fighter.
proof.
He literally went
Yes.
down fighting, but we didn't
And-
actually see him die.
Yeah,
And
we
we've
just see him go
already
down.
learned, just go back and get him and let him bite you or bite him.
Yeah,
Problem
turn him
solved.
back. Turn him back. There's hope for him.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
the thing with Doc, though. I did like the verification of once you've been turned back, you cannot become a vampire
Nope.
again. Because I know I asked that question way
No
back
back
when,
and
and we
forth
had that
is-
discussion, and we all were
Yeah.
like, "That's a good question."
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we see Doc. She still wants to be a vampire. She wants to go back to being a vampire.
She yearns for it.
I think we all rolled our eyes. We all were like,
I rolled
"Oh."
I appreciate that point of view that she like had a taste for it. I wish we knew why. Like
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
even-
not
even-
sure on the motive.
even to have
Yeah.
her just be like, "Oh, you know what? I find myself not able to like relate to anyone, and I have a hunger inside of me." Even just like that justification would have been better
Yes.
than nothing. We just have her be like, "Oh, I was once, and now I want to do it again, cause reasons."
But it's not like being a vampire gave her strength or made her better at anything. I mean, she's been locked
That
up
she
the whole time.
knows
Like,
of.
She was like
Exactly.
stupid feral too. Like she wasn't some like cool vampire. She was just like, nah, I can't
yeah,
do
like
anything.
she said a
I'm like,
line here and there, but
Yeah.
it's like it's not
Yeah.
like it really enhanced her
Nope.
as a person.
Right.
Yep.
She didn't get the
Being
chance
a
to like
vampire.
jump and run around and use
Exactly,
her vampire
like be
powers for anything.
badass.
So maybe there's an element of that, of like the caged bird. She thinks that like being a vampire will give her the chance to fly, like more or less, She
Yeah.
believes in that power, and she's like, "Well, I had it once, but it was taken away from me before I had a chance to like use it."
Did you
No.
think
So
Magdalene
maybe
was gonna
that.
kill her?
I thought so a little bit.
Yeah, because like, what does she owe her of like, well, why should I bother to turn you? But maybe she's curious. Because how many humans are like, please take me now?
Yeah.
Right.
So she maybe was like, all right, let's see what happens. But I was curious, which Magdalene didn't change again, but is more like biting a cured human just like tasted bad. Like it's
Yeah,
bad
it looked like it
meat.
tasted bad for her.
Yeah.
Maybe it
so
just did
it's
something.
not a multi-transmittable disease
Right.
curing virus kind of a thing. It's more just the
One time and done.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm totally forgetting their name on Twitter. But thank you for tweeting us the picture of the
Yes.
blood. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
yes.
the like little millipede thing.
Because we were like, there's
So
a thing,
creepy. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was hard to find. What
It was
yeah.
There he is.
Killian.
Thank you.
Thank you, our Killian.
Thanks,
Yes.
Killian.
Yeah, it's what a creepy little thing scrolling around
Creeping
and
around.
Vanessa's
then-
blood.
I'm thinking it's an active something that's in the blood. You know, it's not
Like an active parasitic thing
yeah.
that changes the
yes
blood
the
DNA.
chemistry of it
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Ooh. And I hope we like delve into that more. I mean, I think that was the one purpose Doc could actually give us.
To be a doctor.
And this
Yeah.
whole
Yes.
time we didn't like we saw her in the hospital for all these
Yes.
episodes. You think she could spend some time and actually examine Vanessa's give us answers.
Yeah.
yeah.
We still didn't get that.
And we know now that she was just not motivated. She was just wanted to be a vampire the whole time.
Yeah.
But we just don't really know why.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing. Killian, which I wonder if it's the same one from Twitter, in the chat room says, remember Doc said she had never been okay referring to pre-apocalypse. So maybe she hadn't been in a good place for some time now. So maybe that's more why she'd rather be a vampire and not feel. Like she wants to not feel. She doesn't want to die, but she doesn't want to feel.
Yeah. And I
That'd
That's
be the
not how you
logic.
solve your problems.
Yeah.
Like that's not being a
That's
human.
what she
You
wants
face
to
your
do.
issues. You faced your issues.
Like
That's
There's
what
some
something.
things
Vanessa
that
would
we don't
do.
want to feel, but
Yeah.
we still have to face and move past it.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, Doc.
That's why Doc sucks.
Doc.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
We're all very
legitimately angry
disappointed.
at her.
Yeah.
like
We were rooting for you.
we were, but that's the problem. It's like, what else does she have to offer then? If she's no longer with the group,
I wanna
if she
know.
doesn't want to
longer
be a doctor and she
science
can't be a
officer.
vampire, why is her character
she?
still alive?
And what kind of like 180 can she make if she comes back to the group now?
There's no forgiving of this. There's no,
No.
going back.
She has to, if she
Her
wants to
character
come
literally
back.
can't offer anything else.
She can though. If she wants to come back, she has to save Axel.
Yes.
Yes.
If she, yeah, that's like the answer. That's the only way she gets
True.
back in. If she brings
Bring
Axel,
Axel and be
she's
like,
like,
"My
Vanessa,
bad."
I messed up, and I put my life. You know, what'd be better though is if she just let Axel go, and Axel was like, she died saving me. And then she shows up later, and she's like, I'm actually okay. And then they're like, all right, now we forgive you. I'm just saying that's the best scenario. But
Maybe.
ideally,
I don't think we have enough episodes
maybe
for that.
not.
Yeah, I
but
don't think
ideally,
so
she
either.
saves Axel if she wants to rejoin the team. That's my prediction.
But
Yeah.
that I mean, like as great as that would be, that takes courage on Doc's part to go back and actually
Oh, she doesn't
actively
know.
go
That's true,
back.
but she has nothing.
Not only
And face the
courage,
vampires.
it's like humility, which she doesn't really have either.
Yeah.
I mean, but it also could take. I mean, going another route, it could take just like abstract depression. Like she could just be like, "Well, I have nothing to lose. Like I literally could die. It does not matter anymore."
I don't think she wants to die though.
But she can't become a vampire.
But now she might want to die.
You know what I
she
mean?
might
Like
wanna
she
die.
she has. There's what else is there?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. What else
So,
does she have
yeah.
left?
So she's the most dangerous she could possibly be now because she has nothing else.
True.
Okay. Anything else about Doc? She performs a C-section in this episode.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Sounds kinda
successfully.
cool.
Yeah.
That I think that was like a one kind of slightly redeeming moment until we
You did
found
one
out
thing good.
afterwards. So I was like, all right, there's some hope for you, but
Nope.
after, no. It
I
gave me
really
a moment to like her again.
I hope
But
she does something to redeem
too.
herself.
I
It
would-
needs to be something big.
Yeah, agreed.
yeah, like saving Axel.
She will find Vanessa's daughter. That would be the
Ooh,
redeeming
that would
thing
be a
she
really
could
good
do.
redeemer.
That'd be
That'd
about
be
the only
good.
way Vanessa would be like, all right, you're okay, my book.
I feel like if she saves Axel and finds the daughter, then we'll be good.
Yes.
We'll be all set.
you got to do two things.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got two things. to
That
do,
is
Doc.
your quest.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm for that. I don't have a lot of hope in
You
that she
took a
could
step
actually
backwards. You gotta
succeed
take
in
two
that.
forward.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to say about Doc really quick is
Mm-hmm.
one of my notes was just right before they force her to do the C-section. Well, I mean, just that they force her. Like, that's just the note, is that they force her. Like, they're like, do the C-section. She's like, I don't want to.
I'm not a surgeon, which like understandable.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
real
scary,
thing.
and that's
Well,
a lot
the
of pressure.
situation
But
was, if they don't do anything, she's gonna die. So it's not really a loss if you try.
right. No, I totally agree, but I think it's interesting because it seems Doc doesn't want to do anything. Like, in that moment, I was like, look at her. She
Yeah.
does not want to be doing this. Barely wants to be in that room.
But like we even had that Emma girl. She's like, we have a new Doc here. She's
Mm-hmm.
new. She's gonna help all of us. So maybe Doc does stay and help the cult there.
Yeah.
We're calling them a cult because they are.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
are.
that's a great point
They're
for
pretty much a
redemption too. And like, if anyone of our team could talk her into any, I feel like it is Flesh, you know, because he has also been a vampire and also has that kind of like.
They need like a Vampires Anonymous group where
Yes.
they can all talk about their problems.
Hi, my name is Flesh.
He
I'm a
has to be
vampire.
a vampire. It's been like
Hi,
2
Flash.
months since I've been a human
So
again.
also with
watch
Doc
it.
of us hating her so much, are we gonna have anything more with her sister? Because that'd be the only
Yes.
other connection thing too, is if
think-
she
Yeah.
can come back with the sister, or like, Vanessa, we have the info of why you're important.
I think that's it. If we can't get Doc to give us the answers of what Vanessa's makeup is, it's going to be the Doc's sister.
Yeah.
Which we are still kind of on the path of finding. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
We have to find her.
Find her at some point.
Yes.
All right, let's talk
agree.
about this cult place that they went to.
Eden.
We go to Eden. So it's a psychotherapy place. In my notes, it's a cult. But we meet Micah, Xavier, and then the vampire Magdalene.
Magdalena.
What did you think of this deal between Micah and Magdalene?
So we know for a fact that he tells everyone at their little dinner when has them over for food at first.
Which sounds, sorry not to cut you off, but that dinner seemed like a Last Supper.
Yeah,
There was
I
a lot of
worried-
religious undertones in this episode. You
I was also
guys.
worried that they might be poisoning them or something. Like
Yeah.
at the beginning, I was like, oh no, they're all gonna like wake up in a bathtub with no liver or something. So I thought, well, he says during that meal, he says, we have a deal that we had to make. It was the best for everybody, and it's basically that twice a month we give her fresh blood. So that's not true.
Nope.
Well,
No.
they did give her blood and
In baby
Yes,
form.
in mason jars. Yes,
Yeah, in
they
mason
gave her the
jars and
mason
then
jars of
babies.
blood, but they also give her babies.
and they forgot the
baby.
important and
And.
because like the giving of blood, like that's not a horrible arrangement.
Right.
Like if you have that many people, everybody gives a pint every so often. It's
That was-
really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
That was my
It's a
question too.
win-win.
Is did he pitch that to the group? And he's like, "Hey, everybody, we're gonna give like 10 quarts of blood. Is everyone cool with that?" And they're like, "No, absolutely not." And he's like, "Ooh, okay, then 2 quarts, right?" And he's like, "I'll just get babies for the rest." Like, you know.
And then
or-
how often are they having babies?
Right,
That's
that-
like a 9-month wait period that there's not that many women that they could always be having a
They're
baby.
constantly
Yeah.
having babies.
I honestly.
Because there were like 3 or 4 at one time.
They
yeah,
were pregnant.
There's
just a
the other
grip of
ones aren't.
pregnant ladies.
And are there that many men too of like, regular
to
growth?
reproduce.
Yeah.
That's the question.
I don't know. But that makes me question,
I've
like,
seen it
why
before too,
babies?
so it's just one of those you can't trust it. If there's a perfectly safe town in the middle of a dangerous area, you're like, you're making a deal with the outside people. I don't know what you've done,
Yeah.
but there's something going on.
Something
That's
dark
the only
happened
way.
here.
It's kind of Stepford Wives-y a little
Yes.
bit.
They did it on Shannara Chronicles. They had a thing like that.
Oh, yeah. They also did that in Smallville in an episode. But yeah, Magdalene, her
Yeah.
as a vampire. What kind of vampire
She was
was
kind of
she?
weird.
She seemed like she was elite, just kind of like elite/feeder.
Right.
But I was just trying to think like where she fits in the vampire bureaucratic
Yeah.
system.
She's definitely not an old vampire because she was
No.
married to that guy and it was recent-ish.
So at least 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe somewhere in between. It's a new category.
Yeah.
maybe like
Because feeders, aren't they a little
tangential.
more like she seems very collected vampire.
I mean, I felt like
Like-
she was basically like Flesh, you know, like that same level as
Yeah.
Flesh. Or Doc, I guess.
Susan was also kind of that. Like
Susan,
she wasn't
yeah.
like rabid, so it's another category.
We'll call
Is
it
there-
a regular vampire.
We'll say regular, yeah, because feeders are like one thing and feral are another, and then there's like the
elites.
neutral.
The regular.
the neutral vampire.
Let's say
Neutrals?
neutral.
Neutral vampires?
Because they're
Sure.
not like psycho crazy, and you
They're
can
just
talk
hungry.
to them. They're just hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't actually. They're not old or special.
But yeah, and they stick to themselves.
Yeah.
They're just a little wicked and a little powerful.
little
I
bit.
really wanted to say though, sorry, excuse me. I really hated that Magdalena just shoves people. Like, I have this girl, I'm gonna feel her face for a while and shove, and she shoves her on the ground. And then at the end, she's like,
shoves
all right,
Doc
Doc, shove. Just like, you are an infinitely powerful vampire. Please be more creative with your power. Like, no, Magdalena, you could do better. Anyway, that's just a message for her.
Okay.
Personally.
I don't
She's
think
just like,
her,
get away from me.
I don't think her character fit if she actually like threw a punch or something. Maybe.
Maybe not. All
Or
right.
you could do like the grab the collar, lift, and
Yeah,
throw.
you know what, and I think that it's especially powerful in sci-fi and in fantasy when you have a small character lift a large character up.
Yes.
You're like, that's terrifying. Like that, she's a small, like, kind of looks older because she's a vampire, I guess. She looks like a feeble old woman almost.
And it kind of throws you off because she's dressed in white. You think she's kind of maybe a cleaner, purer vampire, which that's just like an
Yeah.
oxymoron. But I thought it was interesting, just the concept of this coexisting deal between the humans and the vampires. Do you think this would actually be successful? Would this actually work?
Well, she can only control what vampires are with her.
Right.
So if there's any others, no.
And at one point in the
So-
beginning there, she's like, you've been hunting the ferals. And they're like, well, if we don't, they hunt us, so...
So clearly their plan isn't 100% foolproof.
Right. It's like it's a two-part plan. We
There you
clean
go.
up the ferals.
She protects him from the ones where she could be like, verbally, don't go. So it's the stragglers that they're like having to fight off. So those she doesn't really have much control. We question on our caste system here of someone in the chat asked, Killian asked, isn't Julius a feeder?
It seems like he was an elite who got demoted
That's what I thought too.
into a feeder.
Yes.
Like
I
he
would agree
was
with
special and now he's
Yeah.
not so cool.
'Cause
But
he's
he's
not-
trying to
He's
get
an
out.
outcast.
that. Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
just a feeder, though.
No,
Yeah.
because
Like,
he's a
was-
leader.
Yeah.
He is a leader.
He's
He's
the
the leader of the
feeders.
feeders.
Yes.
Boom.
Done.
Beep, beep, beep,
Leader of the
beep.
feeders.
Great. That was
Yes,
my
we
that
did
was my
that.
Wait, let's try that again. Leader of the feeders.
Yay!
Boom. All right.
Beautiful.
Someone yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Someone tweet that at me. That was really fun.
Yes.
We had that. Yeah, but deal with the devil. All these religious undertones, which like it was kind of really more overtones. But I didn't mind it
The
because
tones were everywhere.
yeah, well, like we're always
Over
talking
it,
about
under
like
it.
what's the religious aspect of having vampires? Because vampires usually with crosses
Right.
and holy water and stuff, and we didn't really get that in this episode,
Yeah.
but we got
No.
the symbolism.
Just wanted to throw this out there because I think this is fascinating. But one of the fun like religious things about vampires is that supposedly Judas was the first vampire.
I think I've heard that before.
And like Dracula 2000, if you guys remember that movie, that's like the big like, oh, Dracula's Judas. Whoa. Anyway,
We're like, that makes
yeah.
sense.
So maybe that's coming up, and maybe Julius is
Julius is actually
Judas. All right, maybe not, but that would be pretty cool, you guys.
I don't know. We might have to get Alex Ponovic back
Yeah.
and see what he has to
Mr.
say.
Ponovic, if you were secretly
Alex.
Judas,
Come on.
you sneaky devil, you.
You had us.
Yeah,
All right.
you were sitting right there.
But okay, so we see Sam in all this because he's obviously
Yes.
there with the group, and he kind of lingers off. He's curious about Xavier, one of the guys.
Well, no,
working
he's
in
not even curious about Xavier. He sees the shirt.
Muhammad's t-shirt.
Muhammad's shirt,
hanging
yes.
up.
And then he like follows the trail, like, oh, is
Yeah, he
Muhammad here?
Well, he follows the guy doing the laundry, right?
Yeah. But then he gets locked up.
Which they
In
felt
prison.
weird and forced. Because he's just like, he can't be curious. And I'm like,
Right. Like, what?
it felt like he
danger-
was planning to lock him up. Mm-hmm. And you're
This
just,
whole time.
Yeah, because it felt like, I know you're following me, and I'm just going to wait till I get in here. And, oh, you got in the room, I'm going to shut the door. And you go, whoa.
It was also strange to me that, like, as
And they
like,
just got there.
yeah,
I
he
know.
just
It's
got
not
there.
like they're
And
there.
how long has this prison been there? Who
Yeah.
else have you locked up?
The strangest
Yeah.
part to me was that, like, from an outside point of view, like, when the group of strong strangers walks into your camp, you don't, like, look at the deaf guy and go, that guy seems like he's probably way more trouble. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, he had a bat, but he seems like a very gentle giant man, you
Yeah.
know? So I thought that was strange that they were like, we're gonna be careful with that one. But
The quiet ones you gotta look out for.
I guess you're
Yeah.
right. Maybe they know that better than anyone.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're all the quiet ones.
It's true.
Man.
Yeah, sure. But eventually, Sam and Muhammad reunite.
Yay! I cheered aloud. I was
Finally.
so happy. They hugged, and I was like, don't wait too long. But
Hence our song at the
Yes.
beginning.
yes.
It feels so good.
It
They're
does
finally
feel so
together.
good.
They have each other.
Best buds.
They're happy again.
I will say that hug coming right before he just like really slowly murders Xavier. I was like, oh, come on. At least like tell him what's happening real quick. That guy is not good. Sorry. Like just that really quick would have helped.
Well, it's not like Sam could like stop what he was doing and sign it with both hands.
That's
He kind of
true.
needed both
He'll
hands
probably
to
tell
stab
him later.
Xavier.
They'll have a time where they chat.
He can
Yeah.
say single words.
Well, actually, you know what? After the reveal of what they do, I think Muhammad might be like, all right, Sam, you probably had good reasons because
Yes.
these people do weird stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever think in this moment when we see Sam kill Xavier that he could have been the murderer amongst the guys?
I had a moment
I did have that moment
Yeah.
too.
Did that come to you?
because he was good at it.
I was like, he has strength.
But I'm blinded by favoritism, so
Yes.
he's
I think
absolutely
we
not
all
the
are.
murderer.
Still think no, but do we
Because
think
I love
Doc is? But Doc's not with him anymore.
Uh,
I still
mean-
think Doc might be, but I don't know. Now our group is Sam, Muhammad, Susan, and Vanessa, right?
Yes. We
Yeah.
lost Flash.
I would hope none of them are the murderers.
Yes, I would also hope
Because then you'd
that.
be like,
I will say that in the like little description on DirecTV of this episode,
Yeah.
it said the murderer is finally revealed. So
What?
Yeah,
what?
the murderer is finally revealed. That's what it said on the synopsis of this episode. So I think we have to assume that the TV guide is trying to tell us that it was Doc. I don't know if that's true. I feel like it's true. Anyone
it's
what
not
do
like-
you guys
feel like
think,
this?
viewers
Yeah.
out there? I don't
know.
think it was
is this
revealed.
definitive
No.
proof?
That wasn't
No.
enough for me.
Because
don't think
Doc
so?
didn't. I mean, Doc confessed what she did to Axel, but she
That's
didn't
true.
confess to killing
To
those
murdering
bodies.
anyone? You're right.
Yeah, or
You're
they
totally
find
right.
other evidence to prove that they did
Right.
it. So that makes, that doesn't sound
Yeah.
right at all.
I mean,
But if you think about it, we actually haven't really had a death since
No.
John.
right.
That too.
So, I mean, you eliminate John, I mean, the deaths just stopped happening.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
But we're
I
also on
think
the
John
road,
did
so
it.
there's less opportunity for Doc to strike.
And why do you just keep killing people in your own group? It just
Yeah,
seems weird.
eventually they're gonna know.
Especially on the run. Like in the hospital, maybe it kind of made sense. You're in this confined space and like you know where you are. But out on the road, it's like you already have way more exponential dangers to worry about.
Yeah, but the thing is like, why?
Yeah,
like,
that
why
too.
would you even kill
Why?
them?
Yep.
There's no motivation.
Because she was hungry. Like, I think
No,
that's
but there's
gotta
no
be it all
motivation.
along.
You can't finish eating a human body and cannibalism within a night.
That's true,
I mean,
but she
you
just
could, but-
grabs the
Yeah.
finger because that's all she has an appetite for.
It's like a
It's like
a
an
lollipop.
An
yeah,
aperitif.
sucker.
Yeah.
Ew. Okay. Yeah. No.
Lady fingers, anyone? Oh, okay, that's quite
Maybe
enough.
my friend made those for Halloween, like little shortbread finger cookie things.
Those are fun.
Ew. Ew.
You're so easily grossed
Just
out.
like, no, I am.
Ew.
No, okay, so like not to make this about me, but I was eating a salad watching this, and like there were two moments that like really grossed me out with the whole blood licking of the mason jar, and then there was something else that really grossed me out.
when Dreamy and Vanessa just start making out? Just apropos of nothing, they're just
yeah.
like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, there was another gross moment. I'm
Oh,
like,
wasn't that?
okay,
Okay.
I'm done with my salad. Yeah, this episode had some sickening moments. And I'm not really a squeamish person, but I digress. Okay, yeah, let's talk about Vanessa and
I'm calling him Dreamy.
Dreamy.
What was
Yeah,
his
we
real
keep calling
name?
him Dreamy.
Does anyone remember?
I don't care because I
it
was
doesn't
too
matter.
busy looking at
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
no, I don't remember.
So I just want to reiterate, I appreciate so much that he is just there to be looked at. I really, really do. I just wish that it was like embraced and like, because he seems
no,
like,
she
oh,
should have said some more lines of
yeah,
like,
I'll be back for you, baby, or then like smack him on the butt, you know, like just some of that. Like that's what I wanted, like because the way that they had a lot of his dialogue was like, oh, he's gonna be the new Axel, like oh they
yeah, I
made
was
him,
thinking,
I thought so
and
too.
then
They made him
it's
our new
like,
strong
nope,
guy.
you were just, and then, so wait, I
was
was
just-
kind of like, did they actually have sex? Because it's like they were
right?
starting to
Did
go
they
at
do it?
and then she bites him, and then I'm like, that's fine, you guys can keep
It
going.
almost seemed like when we came back from the commercial that she had ruined the moment with the bite.
I thought
No,
either
I thought they went all the way,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Yeah, you bit me."
Yeah,
It was
it's
afterwards, because
either-
they were like
It was so
playing with
50-50.
each
Playing with
other's
each other's
fingers,
hands, like-
and I was like, "Some
like
people
you're in
do
high
that after
school.
sex."
I guess.
But they were like already
Saying.
comfortably dressed again. That I was like, that was quick.
Yeah,
You know,
Or it's
so
like,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's
Did
why
it
I was like, did
actually
she
happen?
ruin the moment? He's like, you bit
Yeah.
me. He's like feeling it all like pouty.
Well, like no, but he was actually
He was
bleeding.
bleeding.
Yeah. Oh, I
was
saw
like
it. There was like a
full-on
little
blood.
chunk of skin or something.
Apparently, he's not into that.
I mean,
Yeah, well, I won't.
you
speak
guys know
for
what it's
other
like when you
people.
just get carried away, right?
You know, right?
Vanessa apparently got
Um,
carried away.
Yeah.
I felt it totally could have been 50-50. Either they like stopped, like the mood died, or they had sex and they very quickly put their clothes back on.
Now, what
Yeah.
do you guys think?
Yeah.
Did they do it? Did they not do it? We're gonna find out.
It was a
Probably not.
quickie.
Yeah.
We say
Okay.
quickie.
Yeah,
I think it
could have
probably
been.
Think-
Yeah.
I think it was quickie because you can keep your clothes on during a quickie.
Yeah. I just wish that they had
true.
embraced it more. Had her like lighting up a cigarette afterwards or something. Like, haven't had that since the
Yeah.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Have I?
Somebody smoked a cigarette. It was like an extra one. I forget.
Yeah.
Can we? And then their fighting sequence. I loved his katana, and I was like,
Katana.
Yeah,
Ugh.
dude.
"You mean katana?"
Katana?
Where are you from again, guy?
Yes, and
Katana.
fencing and katanas are exactly the same style, right?
I used to teach fencing,
Right.
so I know exactly how to use a katana. Like, come on, dude.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you're like, oh, very good. And where do you get
Used to be phys
to
ed teacher.
legit katanas as well? Because
Yeah.
like just prop ones, they like break. Like real ones, you know, when are you gonna? Where you
Like,
have
did
that
you
laying
raid
around?
a sword store on the
Yeah.
way to this camp, or like,
This
Yes.
cult.
oh, there's a blacksmith on the way, let's go? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? What do you? How did? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. I
have
Carrie, you brought
questions.
up a good point. Like, I totally thought he was going to be the new Axel because
Yeah.
he can fight, he's good looking,
Yeah.
and he kind of has leadership skills.
Sure.
Good chemistry
He
with
was-
her.
And he works well with Vanessa.
As soon as he found out about Micah, he immediately was
Yeah.
like, "That's not
He's
right."
good.
Yeah,
Why
he
not?
knows
He's like the
from
good
evil.
guy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but nope.
What did you think of his backstory of losing his father? Was that just a pity story for Vanessa to get into his pants?
They also didn't really, yes, but also they didn't really talk about. He mentions his mother. He says mother died like a while back, but he doesn't say how. So that also makes me feel like because they left that so open ended that it's gonna come back. Maybe his mother's a vampire
Well, it could be like that she couldn't live without him and died of
and
broken
committed
heart.
suicide. Yeah. Oh, died of a broken heart.
Yeah, like they don't eat, they don't,
Yeah.
they just
Possible.
get
They
ill.
just like give up.
And depending on how old they are, you know,
That's
like
true.
that happens,
happens.
That's true.
within generally like 5 years.
I just think
Yeah.
that there's sinister
more to it?
things.
Okay.
Yeah, I always
Could
think
be.
that you know, when you leave out
Yeah.
information, it's either because he's protecting someone else
Yeah.
or he's protecting himself.
Could
You know
be.
what I mean? He's not protecting Vanessa by not telling her things. you know?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you
either.
think? I thought it was some other. I at first thought it was gonna be like a tribute graveyard to everyone we've lost.
yeah, that's what kind of thought
like
too.
I was thinking it was a nice little cute memorial.
Nah, he
like
just built that for mom and dad. They're
Yeah.
the only ones good enough for a grave.
yeah.
on,
I mean, I guess it was a moment for them to connect.
Sure.
Like that was the not
Yeah.
necessarily pity, but like
No,
Right.
vulnerability and talk.
I
both
agree
so
because it
broken.
seems like
Yeah.
Vanessa needed someone to talk to because
Yeah.
there's Axel's no longer there that she could talk to.
Yeah.
And it seems like this guy's been holed up in this place for so long and
Yeah.
he needed someone to talk to too. So I think it's like two people who's been through this apocalypse for a while now who just needs a friend, someone to console with and talk to. So therapy, it's therapeutic. And
Totally agree.
and also, you know, sexual tension
Yeah.
got relieved as well.
Little makeout sesh,
Just a little bit.
at least.
I mean,
That's as much as we're
human
fully
needs.
sure.
Human needs.
Yes.
I don't blame either of them.
And he taught her some,
Honestly.
you know, skills a little bit with the sword,
bit.
some
A
little
practice,
bit.
and
Some
gave it
katana
to her.
skills.
Yes.
So she now has that. Oh, that was another thing.
Gave her the katana, yeah.
One, it's a world where they rely way too heavily on guns.
They do.
Yes.
And they all need a blunt force weapon. Like Muhammad has a machete, and Sam has a
bat.
baseball bat. Now Vanessa has the sword.
Mm-hmm.
They've had other things too, but like when they were staying at that farmhouse area, they're freaking out over 4 vampires.
Yeah.
Like, it's only 4. It's not even like a horde of zombies of like hundreds of you. Like, no, we gotta run.
Yeah.
It's like if you guys stop freaking out, you can take them down.
Yeah.
Like it's.
with a blunt object. You don't
Yes,
even need
it
guns.
just. I think by now they've lived in this long enough that they would be better like organized of like how they should fight it. Like
Yeah.
almost they've been a unit on the road too. Like I want some, you know,
Some maneuvers.
yes.
Some plays.
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree.
And it seemed like only Vanessa was taught like the physical hand-to-hand combat compared to everybody else.
Like the
that
other
was there.
people, I'm fine with Sam swinging away, and then you know, that's fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But and Vanessa's the only one who really can't get close enough to get bit, so that's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But like Susan was so pathetic in that scene of like, oh my arm got grabbed. Oh my arm got grabbed.
My
And I'm
arm
like,
keeps getting
sweetheart,
grabbed, you
do
guys."
something. And then Doc is just like, oh my god,
Doc just stood there. That
you're
made me so
like,
crazy.
Ridiculous. I actually had a laugh at that. I'm glad you brought
Yeah.
that up
Yes.
too, because literally she had like a scare face. If anyone's like listening
Yes.
on iTunes, like our face.
Just imagine
is
your
like,
hands
she
waving right in front
literally
of your
was like,
chin. Like,
Oh no.
we got a vampire.
Like this is a
Like,
world.
Doc, you're so completely
she was like
pathetic right
every
now.
human character in Tom and Jerry. Just, oh my god, a mouse! Like, come on, man.
It's like in this world
can't.
that you're in now, if you want to live, you have to be able to defend yourself or at least try, otherwise you will die.
Yeah.
No, like
Like
Doc,
Susan, I thought had gotten past that point, so this
Yeah.
was a little weird on that scene.
Doc literally spun around in circles. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's ridiculous. I
Yes.
was like, you can't even fend for yourself, Doc. You're definitely gonna die.
Oh, you poor little baby
Eventually.
bird.
No,
Yep.
she's not even poor. I don't feel bad for Doc whatsoever. Moving on. All right.
Fair.
So it really
Nope.
comes down to like the big, climax scene of who we finally get the reveal of what Micah's been doing with
Yes.
Magdalene, giving
Go
them
Muhammad for
babies.
breaking it too. The story
Yeah.
too. I was like, all right, dude, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Call him
figured
out on it.
I was glad that Sam told him things off camera. 'Cause I
Yes.
was like, Sam, you have so much information you need to share.
Yes.
See Muhammad, yes, coming back
did-
and ruling.
Anybody else notice that the audio of that crowd sounded so? I'm sorry, but it sounded very like post done.
Oh, I
Wah,
didn't
wah, wah, wah,
notice.
wah, wah.
So bad.
That's
like
funny.
it was because they're just like, oh, Micah, you did all these horrible things. Oh my gosh, you did these. Oh, did you hear that? Like just how it
that's
is.
funny.
It sounded like not
didn't
the
even hear
people
that.
that were standing there. And I just was like, oh, it sounds so bad.
And then
I
Totally
yeah.
missed that.
it was Walla Walla.
Yes.
Watermelon.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
Or
yes,
too many voices per how many people are standing there, kind of a thing.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But what did you think of Flesh being the one
Boom!
to stab
I was so happy because
Micah
Yes.
in the throat? no
I
less?
made this motion, like a stabbing forward motion. Please stab him. Like he just handed you the
Really
knife.
done.
I was hoping that was just about to happen, and it did. And I was so proud.
Yes.
Just proving
That was
once
a
again.
slow kind of stab.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, let's be real. Sticking a knife through someone's neck is probably not easy.
no.
Especially
I
for
can't
Flesh,
imagine.
who's
Only
like seems
thing-
squeamish.
Only thing about it that's a little disappointing is Micah doesn't get to see your face that you were the one who ended up killing him.
That's true.
You don't get that satisfaction, but that's okay.
He doesn't deserve it.
But I will say,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's not for him.
No. I think for Flesh, even though he had his own issues with his family, which that was a weird line of, but you know what? I think he said that of plotting to kill his family. It wasn't literally like he was going to kill his family.
of course.
Just he probably was under
Felt
pressure of
trapped.
having.
Yeah.
So I think though of him, he couldn't imagine killing his children. It was so, burdensome for him. And so the thought of someone killing babies, letting babies die, he was
Killing
like,
children,
nope, I'm
yeah.
done.
No.
And you need to die.
You're
It's
totally right.
inhuman.
That was too much for him.
There was a beautiful
Yeah.
moment too I wanted to mention just at the beginning of when they get to Eden, and Flesh is just kind of looking out at like the water and the green and the trees, and he's just kind of crying, and you're just like, you don't think that you deserve this anymore. And it's I find him so beautiful in the way that they like write his wordless thoughts, his
Yes.
feelings. So I was really happy with him this episode.
Yeah, no, Flesh has become like he's really grown. I mean, because like this moment when him killing Micah, this was like a moment of solidarity.
Yes.
And shows his like true trust and loyalty within him. That like he's really a part of this group.
Yeah.
Like he's gone through a lot of crap himself, but like he really fits with them and like he belongs there. He is not fighting for them, so.
Because he didn't really want to be a fighter, so this is a better
Yeah.
space for him to be
Absolutely.
But like he's protecting them
Yeah.
because they protected him, and like, I think this is just a moment of solidarity.
in. Yeah.
So good on Flesh. He doesn't deserve to die.
He does not.
No.
And if you
Doc
kill
does.
him, I will be so mad.
Yeah, I'd be mad too.
Okay.
I'd be mad too.
Good.
All right. Anything else about this baby?
I just
or
really
like this
loved-
episode?
Oh,
if
baby
really-
graveyard.
Oh,
Baby
the baby
graveyard.
graveyard. Oh man.
Oh, how messed up was that?
So,
also-
does she just like eat it down to the bone pretty much?
I imagine she just like, you know how you had like, do you remember those Squeeze-Its, like the juice thing that you'd squeeze and then it become really.
Oh.
So that's because it looked like
Juice baby?
Yeah.
Hear me out. Because the baby skeletons were all intact. Like none of the skeletons were
Yeah.
strewn
Yeah,
about.
that's true.
They were all basically still attached.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine that there was something like keeping them together somehow.
You
so
don't
I
know
think,
if like they actually bite into the flesh.
No,
of
I have no
that.
idea. If for all I know, she just took like a little like like a Capri Sun straw, and it's just like, all right, had my fill of baby. Like it could
Because
be.
they were all very
terrible.
intact. All the skeletons looked
Yeah.
very intact. So it was like.
You can clearly
And the
tell those were
vampires
baby
don't really
skeletons.
eat like the flesh so much.
No.
But
They're just about the blood.
yeah.
So Capri Sun straw. That's what I'm guessing.
The Capri Sun
Do we
size.
think we have seen the end of Flesh? Somebody asked that in the chat, and I think that's a good question.
No,
I hope
absolutely
not.
I think he's going to come back
Because-
somehow.
Yeah, I think like he can help those people there, but I don't think there's much for him.
Well,
He'll do it
like
and
he-
then get an itch to come see them
like
again.
Maybe. I think
Like
that
he might personality-wise belong there, but like I think he longs for something else.
Yeah.
I think he's either going to be like in my favorite version of it. I think he does great and he becomes like a strong leader there. But in my I'm scared version, I'm scared that vampire leaders are going to use his closeness, and especially since he was a vampire once, and like Julius knows him personally, that he's going to be used as a bargaining chip with Vanessa, especially because he has a relationship with Vanessa now.
Could be.
That's the weakness that I'm afraid of, because we love him for that. We love that he loves Vanessa. But I'm afraid people will know that.
Okay, so I think this takes us into predictions then.
Your
All right.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Alright, so we didn't really get the elite vampires in this episode, but we know their experiments are still going on.
Yeah.
They tried birthing babies with unfit mothers, I guess you can say. Like mothers that didn't really fit their project.
Or I think
Their
it's more they
genetic
just
project.
couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I thought they were able-bodied people, but it's just like it's
Just
too
didn't have
much of
that-
a trauma.
Didn't have that vampire womb
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you apparently need.
Do you think we're going to see more about, the leads and what
experiments?
they're- yeah, more of their
Yes.
experiments.
I'm looking forward to
I
seeing
hope we
more
do.
of what's her name?
It's
Our Russian girl.
Too much if they do. Here's a little bit. Never mind.
Rebecca.
You
Yeah,
know,
Rebecca.
because they could do that where they're like, yeah, we're just gonna show you a little bit and not come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope we meet up with the Resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
oh my God,
now.
they're still like far apart.
Yes.
They lied. Just to touch upon it really quick, they lied about the Resistance to the people of Eden. So
Yes.
I'm worried about who the Resistance actually is. So the only real evidence of the Resistance that we've ever had is Gorman Jones, who is like for all intents and purposes.
The group that
Shima?
well, yeah, the one that
that's
she's
right,
part of.
you're right,
That's
you're
the
right, you're right.
Resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. What I meant was Vanessa hasn't had
she
any
hasn't-
contact with anyone
no.
besides just Gorman
No,
Jones.
yeah.
So I worry that they're about to be like, it's a myth.
Okay, your predictions?
Yes. We're still gonna find Dylan. Dylan's still gonna fall in love
Yes.
with Muhammad.
Yes.
Flesh is gonna do something really cool soon, and Julius is gonna use his dog to fetch something. It's gonna be great.
There you go. I think we're going to eventually meet up with the Resistance because now
Yes.
that Muhammad's back, I think maybe Muhammad knows more information
Yes.
about
We
where the
need to find his
Resistance
sister,
is.
yeah.
And I'd like to just see where they team up if they're going to take on the elites. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
that'd be cool.
The Resistance versus the elites. Done.
The
All
special
right.
forces.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and everyone who was watching us in live chat. You guys are awesome. In the meantime, where can everyone keep following you?
Yes, you can find me online at Kari Lane. That's KARIDLANE.
Find me on the Twitter at Andrew Mena. Make sure you let me know a lot of things.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Keep rating, keep commenting, keep subscribing, keep watching this show. We're almost there. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.